Hi, I'm Caitlin. I regularly use webinar hosting platforms for work, and today I am reviewing the WebinarGeek platform. It seems very simple and easy to use, so let's dive in and take a look. For the purposes of this video, I am using a free account. I created it today, so I have 14 days left on my trial. It's letting me know the status of my account and also what I can do to upgrade right here. But there is a lot about WebinarGeek that's really easy and intuitive. I want to show you how to use it and what benefits it has over some other webinar platforms I've used. So what I really like is there's a lot of education within WebinarGeek that you can use to learn how to quickly and easily create a webinar and how to run the webinars effectively. If you go to the tour section, it really shows you everything you need to know. It takes like 2 minutes to get familiar with all of this. We don't have to go through every one of these because you know how to do that. But anyways, it tells you pretty much everything you need to know about the controls of creating the webinar and how to move on. So I am going to create a new webinar, and here's where you have the choices. Do you want it to be a live webinar, automated, or on demand? For the purposes of this video, we'll go ahead and do live. And I want it to be an interactive session. So that means that people can join independently. They can see each other. We're going to pretend that this is a webinar where I have, 20 people and they're all contributing in real time to the webinar. So we're going to call this sample webinar 2. And this description will be customer facing. So this is something that you'd want to include. You can say, we are going FaceTime. Kind of silly, but it works. It's in English. We're going to make this 30 minutes long. And we're going to make this one public. So anybody could register. They get a direct link to the webinar. There's really no control over who can join. We're going to make this a exact date and time. So for purposes of today, we're going to make it today, and we're going to do it at, let's do 12:30. All right, great. So the default settings here are going to be that it offers a replay. You can customize whether or not you want it to be available for a limited time. So let's do that for the sake of argument. Let's make it available for 3 days after the webinar ends. We're going to show the chat in the replay. I think that's a really great option to have. Show the Q&A, accept questions. Okay, great. Host different webinars as part of the webinar series. We're going to leave that off for this purpose, but I like that that's an option. And then to copy the data and details from another webinar, such as emails, interactions, and the registration page. I think that's cool. If it was part of a series and you had a 3-part webinar series, let's say, for example, and you wanted information presented in the chat from the first one to carry over, I think that's what that means. So that's a really neat tool. We are going to create and customize. And now it brings us to the customization page. This is really cool. You can customize everything from, this banner that's showing here in the background to the verbiage that's happening that the customer sees when they show up. Let's say we're going to edit the registration template. So you can change the colors, the default colors. I chose this earlier when I was in here messing around, but let's just put custom theme enabled, and we're going to set these custom colors. So I changed that. You can edit the banner here. You can upload your own branding or anything like that, which I really like, so the client could see your logo when they first come in to the webinar. This was the title here. Maybe I want to edit it now, but I love that it tells the date and time and how many minutes it's going to be until it happens. All right. So this is where I input the information I put in before. If we want to add an agenda, we can do that here. So this would be an agenda that the customer sees or the user sees. We're going to put review last week's notes, and then 10 minutes, we'll do a Q&A. And the last one, we'll do new business. Okay, presented by moi. All right, and we're gonna, if we want to change the banner here, that's where we would do this. We could upload an image or alternative text, which I love. We're not gonna do that this time. The header says happening soon, but we can customize that. I really like that, starting shortly. That's cool. For the title, show a subtitle. There's a lot of customization features here compared to platforms like Zoom. I love that you can choose to show or not show all of this information. We can add a presenter here, which is really cool. I would create a new profile for the person that I want to join and add them here. Let's see, just show your organizational profile, all that. So super cool. We're going to hit save changes. One thing I meant to show. So this is what it looks like on a desktop version, but this is what it would look like on a tablet. And this is what it would look like for a mobile user. I really like to be able to see that. It helps kind of have an idea of the customer experience. All right, we're going to close this editor. And this is another feature I really think is cool. This is the customization link. So let's say I want this to be a much prettier link. We can edit this. We haven't already given out the link to the webinar, so it's okay to do now, but we're going to call this the best webinar ever. Save. So now this is the link that we're giving out to our customers. It has a much cuter title. It could be whatever you want it to be, obviously, but I love that feature. So we're going to copy that. And that's a link that we would share with our clientele that's going to attend the webinar. This is cool. You can do custom links to better track where the registrations are coming from. So let's say you had an affiliate that was sharing your webinar or something like that. You could do that in here. So let's say we are going to do Dr. Ann. She's an affiliate that I want to work with. So now she has this custom affiliate link that we can give to her that would track where it's coming from. Super cool. All right. So this is where you can change all of the registration stuff. So whether or not we have to give them their first name, which I think is really important, all of that can be customized right here. Let's go to the emails. So this is where we want to automatically trigger emails after they sign up. So let's say we want to edit this email. Our webinar sign up is here. This is who's sending it. So they're going to get this email that says you're now subscribed to the webinar below. This is where we would edit it if we wanted to. You're subscribed to the below. So how do you send? And you could customize the way this looks. This is really easy to customize. I think this is super user-friendly to use. All right. We're going to close the editor and we're going to publish our webinar. All right. Congratulations. Our webinar is posted. We don't have any emails scheduled to remind people, but we can. Again, this is where we would do in the screen we were just in with the emails. This is where we would add a reminder email or a follow-up, but we're going to publish and we'll be ready. So we copied the link before, but let's test it out now and see what we got. The best webinar ever. So cute. And here it is. So cool. So this is what I would do if I wanted to register. Here's the agenda that we put in. We're going to review last week's notes, the Q&A, the business. It's presented by me. Any co-presenter would be down here. And so we are just going to use this as an example. And I am signed up for the webinar. And here's the link I need. This is so cool. We're going to go straight to the webinar as a user. And it says it's starting shortly. And here's the agenda reminder. I love this. Our customers would see this big branded area. And that would be awesome. All right. So cool. All right. Now we're going to test the webinar from in here. So we're going to do a dry run. All right. So we're going to enter the webinar and here we are. This walks us through how to use it and where the controls are for everything. So this shows us the stage. This is what the part that's being shared. Here's our controls down here. There's our status bar, our sidebar, our settings. Super cool. We're going to skip that tour for now. So this is where where you'd be able to see all the information, the amount of people that are here and viewing it, the Q&A, the chat, everything. As a whole, I think this is really user-friendly. I love the customization tools. I love how I can change the layout of who's speaking. I think it's really easy to use. I want to view this as an attendee, so I'm going to try it out and see what it looks like. Webinar has not yet started yet. Well, as you can see, WebinarGeek's really easy to use, super user-friendly from both a presenter and a client standpoint. Users on both ends, I think, will have a great experience with WebinarGeek. I love all functionality. I love the dry run. And I love how customizable it is.